Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear participants, this is our session number 9 of Karatai International Conference on Islamic Economics and Finance, KARCIEF 2022. Most welcome to the afternoon session, and we have now participants still joining us. We will start. We have very interesting presentations today in this session. We will start with Dr. Shahida Shahwan, who spent last 6 months here with us in Karatai University. And actually today she will be presenting a very interesting project which we were working on together. And I was actually very much impressed with the project when I met it for the first time back in Malaysia. Okay, Prof, the floor is yours, and the presentation will be on the innovative educational tool, Karatai Interactive Finance. Prof, you have 15 minutes.
Oh, okay, tamam. I hope I can meet the requirement. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Kamala Hojam, for the introduction. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I can see also familiar faces here with us, Dr. Harina, Dr. Warashida. Okay, I think Tuana is our student, right? And
yes.
Also, okay. Thank you very much, and the rest of the presenters. Okay, thank you very much for attending our session, and also thank you, Harina. And also, I would like to share. Actually, today is our not presenting a report, but actually this is our what we call our output that we need to publish. Okay, that we need to prepare a paper. Okay, for the project that we have started in January 2022 here in KTO Karatai University. So I would like to introduce myself. Okay, maybe some of you, this is our first meeting. I'm Shahidawati. Okay, Shahidawati Shahwan. Okay, I graduated from International Islamic University Malaysia in IIBF, and actually attached to the University of Science Islam Malaysia in the Faculty of Economics and Muamalat. And currently, I'm doing my postdoctoral here with research project under the supervision of our friend in IBF, okay, Dr. Kamola, Associate Professor. Congratulations, Dr. Kamola. I'd like to announce also here, Professor Dr. Kamola Bayram. So we hope that the project will benefit, okay, our students and also industry players here, okay, in Turkey, okay, what we had in Malaysia, and then we try to deliver, okay, the same what we call the same direction, okay, that we intended in Malaysia. Okay, so I will share with you my screen. Okay, tamam. Okay. What is thing problem here? Hojam, is any problem?
You can share your screen, right?
Yeah. Now I think there is delay. I don't know. Internet here, it should be okay, right? Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Something happened to the internet. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hopefully it's okay now. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, can you see the slides I'm sharing?
We continue, Prof. Yeah, now we can see your slides.
Okay. First of all, I would like to welcome our respected Professor Dr. Rusni. Very happy to see you, Prof.
Assalamualaikum, Prof. Welcome.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah. We are happy to have Dr. Prof. Rusni actually with us, okay, our mother in IBF, and Alhamdulillah, why we are here actually is this is what, okay, the one that they pour the knowledge, everything to us in the Islamic finance, Alhamdulillah. Okay, so inshallah today, okay, I'm sharing with you Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, our project here, okay, we call it, this is part, okay, of the presentation is part of the project. Actually, I won't discuss all, okay, but because there are few processes that we are still missing in the development. So I'm sharing with you the architecture of Karata Interactive Finance. We call it KIF, educational tool. Okay, among the, what we are going to focus here is only on the analysis experts and users feedback for the development. Okay, so for today's session, I'm going to share with you the background of our project, the research, and then the research objective for this paper, and then on the review of literature and also methodology and findings, and finally the assimilation and prototyping. Yeah? So that will be our final aim of the project. Okay, so the background of this product, actually, maybe some of you know, maybe some of you not. Okay, so I will introduce, okay, the development of KIF actually is inspired from the first innovated, okay, Islamic finance game-based learning tool in Malaysia known as Muamalat Interactive Game. We are the innovators from University of Science Islam Malaysia, led by me, myself. Okay, and we have very strong commitment, okay, from the researchers in Malaysia, like Prof. Zurina Shafi'i, okay, Dr. Supriya Saleh, Dr. Safiza, okay, Dr. Nur Hazlina, okay, and also the late Puan Halizah and also Puan Kasumalinda. Okay, so these are the members actually firstly initiated, okay, the development of Muamalat Interactive Game, which was granted recently patent by my IP. Alhamdulillah, finally after 5 years, actually, Dr. Kamala, we waited for the grant patent. Alhamdulillah, the patent was granted, okay, by my IP. Alhamdulillah. And the tool actually promotes game-based experiential learning tool by providing experiential learning in dealing with muamalat transactions and banking products. We try to promote, we try to support the learning tool available in the industry and also in our students actually, okay, on the current tool, okay, for deliver, okay, Islamic finance knowledge, okay, among our society, especially. I fell because of that. That's a wrap. So Islamic finance, get terminologies like sadaqah. I believe all these are familiar to most of you who are, all of us here are in the same circle, like sadaqah, wakaf, murabahah, musyarakah, ijarah, zakat, and others, the kisah and istisna, for example, and parallel istisna. All these are commonly term used in our industry. However, okay, when it comes to application operational aspect, we have problems actually to deliver, okay, the operation to the students, especially when it comes to operational aspects. Okay? And this only can be experienced with the person who involved in those muamalat transactions in their daily activities, like bankers, for example. However, our students, they face a lot of problems to understand, to make, to visualize the process of Islamic finance. So having assisted serious educational tool for experiencing muamalat processes and contractual activities as above that we said, MIG provides simulation to the process. So for that reason, okay, KIF or Karata Interactive Finance benefits the experience of innovators in developing MIG to develop a simulation for enhancing educational objective for Islamic finance in Turkey. So we hope that our humble and actually our objective is to assist and to provide another tool. We believe that there are many other tools outside that can be used, okay, to teach Islamic finance, but we can be part of them. This is our contribution in our way, how we want to make to support, okay, the educational and learning, okay, experience, okay, in learning muamalat and Islamic finance. Okay, now the objective of this paper, only this paper, is to explore the need for development of KIF for adult learners in Turkey. Adult learners here refers to the undergraduate students and above, including the practitioners. Number 2 is to demonstrate the prototype, development of KIF by research team of Islamic Economics and Finance of KTO Karata University, where the team members consist of majority of the department members of this faculty, assisted by research students, okay, researchers appointed by the university, okay, among students of the university, and also designers, okay, among students from the university. Okay, based on the review of, I go back to the basic. This is what research should be. You go to the basic. Okay, we cannot. We should discuss on the review of literature, even though, okay, this can be considered as development, okay, project, but we still need to look at the review of literature. We need to understand that for adult, in most of situation, learning objective is to sharpen, okay, skills and upgrade the knowledge, okay, for the use of in their formal educational certificate, like our undergraduate students and mostly postgraduate students, and for industry players in careers and in life. So normally, adult learning process is to aim. This is the aim in the adult learning process. And studies have confirmed that adult in most situations learn best in environment which allows self-directed learning. Okay, this has been proven for adult, okay, especially for adult. Okay, we are talking about andragogy actually. So adult learning, according to Knowles, okay, named as andragogy, is an art of science of helping adult to learn. Okay, actually it is for adult. So learning via game. So actually using game or simulation game for adult is not really old, actually it's really new, okay, for us, okay. Learning via game, serious game, I mean here serious game has started receive attention for adult learning and professionals since 2000. The actual success of learning using serious game is observed in active involvement of participants while playing the game. Actually, we see the interaction, the commitment, okay, the support, the what we call the havoc, okay, happen during playing the game. Actually, this is what we call active involvement of participants during playing the game. Okay, and studies also show that game-based learning tool can promote many good learning and teaching practices, such as provision of a safe environment in which students can learn from their mistakes. This is what actually we try to support, minimize costs, okay, of learning. They don't have to go outside there. They don't have to go to the industry. And at the same time, we provide them through playing the game, okay, minimum exposure to the operational activities in the industry by giving in the game, putting it in the game, okay, and then the number two, okay, support. Okay, it also can support the contents from easy to hard tasks. Okay, like for example, we have few stages. Okay, in the game also we arrange in such way where we introduce simple contract first, and then we ended with difficult contract. We considered as, in our opinion, okay, we considered as difficult contracts, like for example, musyarakah, mutana, kisah, and perer istisna, for example. And then it also can simulate the creation of characters that learners can relate to. Normally, when playing the game, for the few seconds, maybe they can act, they can like acting, but when you observe them for a few rounds, they will show their actual attitude. This is what you want actually. The observation is very interesting, okay, that we found sometimes students, industry players, okay, they can show their own attitude, okay, when playing the game, and it's really interesting, okay, to observe, okay, and to put into research. So methodological process, okay, for developing KARCIEF, we use ADDI model, development model in developing KARCIEF. I think for development process, this is a simple one. Okay, and then most of the famous, okay, among the famous, okay, model for development of educational tool is using ADDI, where we have A, represent analysis of need, D is the design, another D is the development, and then I is the implementation, and finally E is the evaluation. So for this paper today, for the current paper today, okay, we're going to focus on the need analysis, okay, where we have conducted bankers online focus group discussion, okay, and also observation of students play test, okay, and also I will also share with you about the design process on the content and context of the KARCIEF, the gameplay, okay, and also the design or decision of the gameplay of KARCIEF, and also finally the choice of design for KARCIEF. The rest of the processes, the stages, development, implementation, and evaluation, we will continue in our future paper, okay, because there are still few stages we need to meet, okay, certain requirement like validation of the pedagogy and playability, which need prototyping actually. Okay, so for the need analysis, what we have done, we interviewed bankers. Okay, we have conducted a few series of interview sessions actually with bankers in Turkey. Actually, in Turkey currently we have 6. Yeah, Kamala Hocam, we have 6 katılım bankası in Turkey, and then among these 6, 4 have responded, and we have conducted 4 online interview group discussion, focus group discussions, which consists of among 5 to 6 members, okay, of the industry players, okay, from the bank katılım bankası in Turkey, and then we give them, expose to them, give to them, show to them our MIG, the existing product that we have MIG, and we show whether there is a need among the industry to have in Turkey, especially to have such tool, okay, to be used for their training, okay, in industry, okay, banking industry in Turkey. Okay, and number two, we also conduct this one 4 sessions. Actually, we have conducted with industry players. Alhamdulillah, we got very good responses for them. Okay, and very interesting also. Okay, responses from the industry players. And number two, we also have conducted 2 series actually, observation of students play test, where it also actually from my side actually two series. Okay, from Kamala Hojam, she has conducted it previously. Okay, here, okay, with his team, okay, with the students. Okay, but when I arrive here, we personally in the team, we conduct 2 series of observation with the students so that we know, okay, their responses, okay, on the MIT itself, and then for the future product, okay, for KARCIEF, and how we're going to develop KARCIEF for the future direction in students. Okay, if it's going to be used among students, how students will perceive it, okay, what they want it actually from the product to be developed, okay, under the name of KARCIEF Interactive Finance. Okay, so from that, okay, we come up with the design, and then analysis will be presented in the next slide. So in our findings, okay, for the number one, okay, for the interview, we have conducted interview session and we came up with this conclusion of finding. Okay, this is qualitative, okay, process where we interviewed them. Okay, we ask questions, and then we come up that there are 4, okay, items that we need to consider when developing KARCIEF Interactive Finance. Okay, number one is the customarily practices custom. Yeah, the customary practices in Turkey is a bit different from what we have in Malaysia. So it is important for us to consider, not only to consider, but to put the KARCIEF so that, okay, we can make sure that whatever they have in the educational tool so close to them, it belongs to them. They feel they are belonging, okay, to the. So that's why many of them say, okay, that the contract product, the KARCIEF should have customarily input, okay, from the society. That one we put into action in development of KARCIEF. Number 2 is the TKBB. So here actually, okay, when they refer to TKBB, actually is the regulatory, okay, structure that we have in Turkey, a bit different. They need TKBB engagement when it comes to validation. So we put into also our direction, okay, in developing KARCIEF, and TKBB will be part of the participants, okay, when we involve in the validation process, okay, and then also the content, okay, the contents of these as same thing like custom, okay, the contents requires also Turkey content, like for example, wakaf activities here, zakat actually need to be established, to be highlighted also here. We also put into our KARCIEF, even though in MIG already have that, but we have to highlight certain contents, okay, to highlight, okay, what they need, okay, in Turkey. And finally, most important thing is the products. Actually, for these bankers, okay, some of them are of the opinion that they prefer only products to be that has already offered, okay, in Turkey. But we also observe, okay, in our when we discuss, okay, many times, okay, with the experts here, okay, when we consider that maybe the products we agreed, okay, to only have products offered in Turkey, but at the same time, for educational purposes, we also need them to know many more products offered in the world. So we agreed, okay, to also put, okay, product in the world, offers in the world. At the same time, we highlight product offered only in Turkey so that they know the differences, what they have in Turkey and what they have outside there in the world. And this will expose them to the future, okay, development or product development, product innovation activities in Turkey. So we expose also, especially for the students, it's important for them to know all actually. So this is what we observed, okay, when we conducted the first session, what we call data collection, okay, with these experts or bankers from the industry. And then with the students, okay, this is our observation. This is what I put in the observation. So we have concluded there are 4 things to be observed when we want to develop or to design KARCIEF. Number 1 is in terms of the gameplay. We have agreed to maintain what we have in MIG with some modifications of the gameplay, especially in the use of dice. Okay, there are issues actually, and the sensitivity actually is quite huge here compared to what we had in Malaysia and some other countries in Southeast Asia country. So we have decided to follow what they had here in Turkey under Seljuk. Yeah, this was introduced during Seljuk time. So I was very lucky to have introduced to this Seljuk time that they replace the dice with something like in Malaysia we call it gasing. I don't know what you call it. Kamala Hojam mentioned to me, okay, the name, okay, but on that gasing, okay, like we have numbers, okay, so no dice, actually just numbers.
Like yo-yo.
Okay, so it's very interesting.
Yeah.
We present actually the what we call the Sufis, okay, the Sufis area at that time, okay, where they try to avoid using dice, okay, while playing the game. They didn't want to associate with the act of gambling actually. So it's okay. We have to respect and we understand, okay, the situation here, and then we change it. Okay, so the gameplay also, okay, we found that the rest of the MIG, some of them we maintain, and however, only a few, okay, we change due to the need and the responses we receive, okay, from students and also from the expert. And then number two, in terms of the content and context, as I explained just now, okay, some students, even though, okay, you know, we tested with students who are doing Islamic banking and finance, even though they are students doing Islamic banking and finance, they're still facing problems to differentiate certain terms and contracts, okay, that we have. We have taught them many semesters, like Kabul Hajam, same thing happened to our students in Malaysia. So still, okay, we're going to focus on that, and repetition actually is needed when it comes to the content and context. And then the third one, okay, is the design itself. Okay, many, when we discuss with the student, they also get opinion from the students and observe, okay, their, when they play the game, okay, they prefer, of course, the design to be based on Karatai, what interesting places, like they have the old buildings, okay, all these things, and also the color of Karatai. Okay, this one, it's okay. Okay, anything they can use, okay, we put it into KARCIEF, because now, okay, we this one to be used here. So we have to look at the context and also the what they need here in this country. Okay, and then last one, most important thing actually when we observe the students is the behavior, financial behavior. Okay, so this is another hidden agenda when playing the game. Okay, we can observe their behavior, financial behavior, which normally cannot be observed when you give normal lecture in the class. Because when they play the game, they will show the actual attitude in managing the cash. In the game, we have cash management. In managing the asset, we have also asset management. Okay, in also like sharing knowledge among them. We can see how they share, how they teach among others. Like, for example, one friend don't understand this one and how another friend explain to another their friend. Okay, this is peer learning process. Is this that's why I put it behavior. I don't focus on financial behavior only, but also behavior in learning, behavior in financial behavior, especially, and also behavior in giving sadaqah. For example, some of them having influence. Okay, they need influence. They need influencer. Like today, you need influencer to do something, to start. And then when one student started giving sadaqah, the rest will follow. This is the importance of influencer actually. So this behavior actually create us another awareness that actually another research, okay, could be done when playing the game, even though it is only a simulation game, but actually we put, as mentioned by our previous studies before, that we put our actual action, actually our attitude actually, okay, while playing the game without our awareness. Okay, maybe this is a good observation that we're going to use this one, okay, to be in our future research, especially when we're going to action research. Okay, so these are based on the findings that we found from our data, from the data that we collected, okay, from the experts and so from the students. Okay, and this is what we start with, the developing of the contents and the contextual estimation, okay, from MIG into KARCIEF. Okay, so this one actually is iterative process. We have started, if you see, because we have started with banking practitioners, okay, meeting online. Actually, originally we planned it to be physical meeting. It's at Istanbul at HQ. We are in Konya, and to Istanbul we need 12 hours driving or 1 hour by flight. However, due to the weather, you know that we extended, okay, extended what? Last time we had extended winter here in Turkey. Yeah. So it can
very
only
heavy winter.
Very heavy winter here. So we only had opportunity to conduct the meeting via online meeting. So we have conducted 4 series actually with banking practitioners. Okay?
Sorry to interrupt, but few minutes.
Oh yeah. And then continue with the translation. I afraid that is what I'm afraid of. Number 2 is the translation processes. Okay, we start with the translation. Sometimes, okay, what we agreed, what we omit from MIG, and what we agreed to have it, and how the changes that we made in to KARCIEF. So we started the translation processes, and translation also need an iterative process. Okay, from the researcher, our research assistant, and then to our expert in language here, and then quite long time actually. And then contextual confirmation, we conduct contextual confirmation with the people here in Turkey, okay, especially the students and also expert in Shariah. Number 4, meeting with Turkey Shariah experts who are expert in Shariah to confirm with them on several contracts. Okay, but maybe okay, in Malaysia, okay, acceptable, but here we have problem. But it's okay. Okay, we told them, okay, this is for the sake of knowledge and educational purposes. So this is how the module, the next project, okay, will be. This is the module development to explain, okay, the product, the differences among the product that we have around the world. Okay, and finally of the operational confirmation with the expert. Yeah. Okay, and the future direction of the research, actually, I'm going to wrap up. Actually, we're going to implementation this one in our industry, of course, with the module developed, okay, with this KTO Karate University, okay, in this language, and then we also will conduct evaluation, validation of 3 stages of validation: pedagogy validation, content validation, and also playability test, okay, with the expert especially, and then we apply for IP, okay, for the product, and then commercialization, and finally continuous action research, okay, where this is the process we need, okay, to continuously improve, okay, the content, gameplay of the product for the future betterment of our learning tool for Islamic finance. So I think that's all for me. I want to thank you all parties involved in the development of KARCIEF, especially from USIM, Nilai, and also from KTO Karate University, Konya, Turkey. And our aim, actually, our inner intention is to promote and act for continuous development of interactive tool in finance, aiming for educative, interactive, and fun learning tool. So I would like to quote here, please, Hojam, last minute, Mevlana Arumi's word: you will learn by reading. You will learn by reading, but you will understand with love. So we need to create love among our students of Islamic finance. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.
Thank you very much. Now it's really clear you are in Konya, Prof. Finishing your presentation with saying of Mevlana Al-Rumi. Thank you very much, Prof. Of course, it's not easy to wrap up everything in 15 minutes, this work, which is, it's not only 6 months work, actually, it's physically 6 months, but all discussions, preparations, it took much, much longer since 2019, right? 18, 19. Thank you very much, Prof. Well, now we will continue our presentation with our, actually in the list is first presenter from Universitas Airlangga, Malaysia, Indonesia, M. Jainuddin Astania, and Dr. Siti Zulaiha. Are you here? Because I guess you have presented yesterday, because Siti Zulaiha was presenting yesterday. They are here physically in Konya right now, and they were planning to have trip to Cappadocia, already left to Cappadocia. If they're not here, I continue with our presenter number 2 in the list, Sister or Dr. Shafrina Luciana from Universitas Airlangga. And are you here? Or they also presented yesterday, because we had a session for Airlangga yesterday. By the way, we have 7 visitors from there right now, like they already left Cappadocia. Okay, Dr. Nur Harena, then we continue with you. Presenters number 1 and 2, not around. And we have Nur Hafiza Rosli, right? Presenting your paper titled The Influence of Digital Literacy Towards Financial Inclusion for B40 Group in Malaysia. The floor is yours. Please start.
Okay, thank you. Now I will continue the presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
My name is Nur Hafiza binti Rusli. I'm from International Islamic University Malaysia, IIUM, and I'm a postgraduate from IIBF. Okay, actually I with Dr. Nur Harina, we have prepared a research paper on the influence of digital financial literacy towards financial inclusion for B40 group in Malaysia. So now I will present the paper. Before I proceed with the presentation, let me brief a bit the flow of the presentation. So this presentation will be divided into 5 segments. Number 1 is introduction. Number 2 is literature review. Number 3 is methodology. Number 4, finding and discussion. And I will conclude this presentation. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, let me brief a bit the background of this study. According to the theory of product life cycle, every business will go into 4 stages of situation, which include of introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. So for the business, if we don't want to go to the decline stage, we have to maintain at the maturity stage. And one of the strategies to strengthen the maturity stage is through innovation. And then in a financial service business, the innovation can be in the form of digital finance. Because as we can see nowadays, digital finance provide easy access for business, and it has given a new shape to the financial industry. So having said that, for this research study, we have come up with the statement of problem, like what we can see in the slide. Number 1, according to Bank Negara Malaysia, the population of the unbanked stood at 8% or 2 million of the country 24 million adults. And based on the Credit Counselling and Debt Management Agency Financial Behaviour Service Survey 2018, 2 out of 10 Malaysian working adults did not save for the last 6 months of the year. So this problem is actually tend to be more pronounced with the segment whose income is among the B40 group in Malaysia. And it shows a signals for the need of digital financial literacy improvement, inculcate good financial behavior. And that is why recently Bank Negara Malaysia has issued a digital license, and it's focusing on the micro segment and underserved and unbanked. Okay. Therefore, we come up with the 3 research objectives, like what we can see at the right-hand side of the slide. Number 1, we would like to examine the level of digital financial literacy among the B40 group in Malaysia towards digital financial services. Number 2, we would like to investigate the influence of demographic factors in terms of gender, age, monthly income level, education level, job specification and area of living of the B40 group towards the level of digital financial literacy. And last but not least, we would like to determine the relationship between the level of digital financial literacy and monthly spending behavior of the B40 income group. Okay, next. Okay, let me brief a bit about the concept of the digital financial literacy and financial inclusion. Digital financial literacy is actually refers to multi-dimensional concept which integrate between the financial literacy and digital literacy. So financial literacy is a set of skills and knowledge that allows an individual to make informed and effective decision through their understanding of finance towards management of money. And digital literacy is the ability to use and create technology-based content, including finding information and interaction with others and computing programming. So that one is the digital financial literacy. Financial inclusion is the sustainable provision, affordable financial service that bring the poor into the formal economy. And if we need to further understand, it's actually the process of ensuring access to financial service and adequate credit, which are needed by vulnerable groups such as low income at an affordable cost. And we can call it as B40 group. So like we move to the overview of B40 income group in Malaysia, it is actually literally mean bottom 40 of the income group, which determined by the household monthly income. And based on Department of Statistics Malaysia, they have broke down the B40 income group level by 4 categories. As we can see here, the category number 1 is B1. That's mean the household income, their monthly income is below than 2,500. And the category number 2 is B2, which is the range of the income is between 2,501 to 3,169. The category 3 is the B3, which is the range of monthly income is 3,170 to to 3,969. The category number 4 is B4, which is the range of income is 3,970 to 4,849. Okay, next. Okay, now I will explain the influence factor of the digital financial literacy. We determine the influence factor by demographic elements. And based on previous researcher, we found there is 6 demographic factor that influence the digital financial literacy, which comprises of gender, age, income level, education level, job specification, and area of living. So we have come up with this hypothesis. Hypothesis number 1 to 6 is related to the demographic factor. So based on previous researcher, we come up with this hypothesis so that we assume the demographic factors have a positive influence on digital financial literacy among the B40 group. And then after we have these 6 hypotheses, we want to know the relationship between the level of digital financial literacy and the monthly spending behavior. That's why we come up with the hypothesis number 7, which is the level of digital financial literacy has a positive relationship with the monthly spending behavior of the B40 income group. Okay, next. Okay, for this study, we use quantitative method by using survey instrument. That means we have distribute questionnaires to the targeted segment, which is B40 group. So this is actually the conceptual framework that we have come out. And if we can see here, it's actually financial literacy and digital literacy is the element of the digital financial literacy that I have briefed earlier. So the digital financial literacy itself is actually include of 5 elements. So this element we found from the previous researcher, which comprises of number 1, basic knowledge and skill. Number 2 is awareness of the availability. Number 3 is application and access. Number 4 is digital financial behaviors and practices. And number 5 is self-protections. So these 5 elements is actually we would like to determine and to determine the level of digital financial literacy. When we determine the level of digital financial literacy, we would like to know what is the influence factors that affect it. So that demographic factor, which includes of these 6 elements, will be the influence factor. Which comprises of gender, age, income level, education level, job specification, and area of living. And after that, like I mentioned before, we would like to know the relationship between the level of digital financial literacy and monthly spending behavior. So we will further determine whether is there any relationship and what is the relationship? Is it good or not good? Okay, next. So we use the variables to determine these 3 objectives. Like we know, variables normally comprises of dependent and independent variable. So to reach the objective number 1, we don't have the dependent and independent variable because the objective is just to find the level of digital financial literacy. But number 2, we have the dependent and independent variable since we want to know the influence factor. So the dependent variable is the level of digital financial literacy and the independent variable is the demographic factors itself. And then number 3, the dependent variable is the level of digital financial literacy and the independent variable is the monthly spending behavior. So after we have determined this variable, we go to the data analysis, whereby when we obtain the data analysis from the questionnaires that we have distributed, we go with the data processing step, like this 6 element, which comprises of distribution of data, and then we test our questionnaires, and then we obtain the findings through the statistical analysis coefficient, determination, t-test, and f-test. Okay, next. Now we move to the finding and discussion that we obtain for our 3 objectives. The objective number 1, the level of digital financial literacy among the B40 group. So as we can see the result here that we obtain from our questionnaires and survey, there are 18% of the total respondents have high level of digital financial literacy, which indicate that most of them have a good understanding of digital financial services, regardless they are the B40 income group. And next, there are 14% respondents obtain the moderate level of digital financial literacy. And the last one, there are only 5% respondents have low level of digital financial literacy. Okay, next. That one is the objective number 1. Now we go to the objective number 2, which is the influence factor of demographic. The influence of demographic factors towards the level of digital financial literacy. So here I bring out the t-test results, whereby the decision making for the t-test will be based on the significant value. That means if the significant value is less than 0.05, then it indicates that there is a significant influence on the independent variable towards the dependent variable, so that we can accept the hypothesis that we set earlier. And contrast, if the significant value is greater than 0.05, that means there is no relation, there is no influence, so we will reject the hypothesis. So we can see the result at the right-hand side. Number 1, based on the table, it clearly seems that significant value of the independent variable for gender is greater than 0.05. So it is there is no significant influence of the variables. That means this one we have to reject the hypothesis. Number 2, it shall be highlighted that age has a significant influence towards the digital financial literacy because the value is below than 0.05. So this one we accept the hypothesis. Number 3, there is a significant influence of the monthly income on the LDFL. So we have to accept the hypothesis. Number 4, education level, there is no significant influence. So this one we have to reject the hypothesis. And number 5, the job specification has no significant influence of the LDFL since the value is greater. So we reject the hypothesis as well. And number 6, the area of living has no significant influence of the LDFL. So this one also we reject the hypothesis. Okay, next. Okay, last but not least, this is the last objective that we would like to determine, which is the relationship between the level of digital financial literacy and the monthly spending behavior. Before we know the relationship, we actually determine the level of monthly spending behavior of the B40 group. So as we can see here, there are 80% of the income group has good spending behavior, good monthly spending behavior, whereas the 20% of the B40 income group are not good in monthly spending behavior. So having said that, we go to the relationship between this level and the level. We go to the relationship between the level of digital financial literacy and the monthly spending behavior. We want to know what is the relationship. Is it a fact if they have good spending with their level of digital literacy? So we use the Pearson correlation in order to determine the objective, and we obtain the result. As we can see here, there is a relationship between the level of digital financial literacy and monthly spending behavior of the B40 income group, since the Pearson correlation or R value is 0.527 and significant at 0.00. So this means when the level of digital financial literacy increase, the monthly spending behavior also increase. They have positive relationship. So this one we accept the hypothesis earlier. Okay. So with the achievement of that objective that we have specified earlier, so we come to the conclusion for this research and study. So This study shows that B40 income group aware on the digital financial service as the finding in the first objective. And some demographic factors have influenced the level of digital among them, which include the age and monthly income level. Meanwhile, the level of digital financial literacy does not have significant impact regardless their gender, education level, job specification, and area of living. So from this study, we hope that we can contribute this study to these three important part in Malaysia, which is Malaysian government, Bank Negara Malaysia, and digital financial industry. How it can contribute for Malaysian government, at least the government may develop new policy relating to this matter and identify the solution to support and upgrade the awareness on the digital financial service and factors that influence it. Maybe the government can provide subsidy or any other solution that government would like to implement. And secondly is Bank Negara Malaysia, whereby the bank may provide solution to a constraint faced by the unserved and underserved group, included the B40, towards the digital financial services. And last but not least, to the digital financial industry, they shall create the service that can be reachable to all society, including the financial inclusion like B40 income group, as they also play a significant role in the country and shall not be left behind. That's all from me and from us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Nur Hafiza. A very interesting presentation, and it's actually a topic which I'm also interested in. We conducted few research more on level of financial literacy, not digital financial literacy. That's why I have questions here. And we have only one presenter, so we have time. So maybe I will ask my question first. Like when you are, because when you are measuring the financial literacy, you have big three questions. Like there are three questions you ask the participants. My first question will be, what type of questions you use to measure the financial literacy level? But most importantly, coming to your findings, when you say that individuals with higher financial literacy, digital financial literacy level have spent more, right? This is what I understand. It means
that means they have good.
Higher. Sorry? There's positive correlation.
They have, yes, positive relation. That means their level of literacy high, and then their monthly spending also good.
Also higher.
Not higher, good. Good means it is manageable.
Okay. Manageable, how you measure also this and manageable?
It's just based on question, actually. It's not a very thorough determination, because the data will be too significant. So we just based on question, general question. So whether they spend well and they afford to spend their belonging and expenses. So, and then we relate with their level of literacy. So when the level is high, then their monthly spend, they have no problem with spending any money towards their expenses and any their stuff lah. That's why we determine
is no problem means they spend at the same time they manage to save, is it? Or
that means they still have saving.
Okay.
So we consider it as a good lah.
Okay, of course, because from your problem statement, last 6 months, majority of citizens, especially B40 group, they do not have any saving, right? But maybe it's, you know, because this trend is now universal, global. When it comes to Turkey, same, like me too. Last 6 months, I cannot save because of hyperinflation. Okay, thank you very much, Sister Nur Hafiza. And I believe it's your master thesis.
Yeah.
I really want to read it. Thank you very much, Dr. Nur Harina. Very interesting topic. Very neat, clear, accurate. Thank you. And now we move to our last but not least presenter. Actually, last presenter was Dr. Shahida, but you know, we have, we have guests here from Malaysia, Dr. Zurina is here, Prof. Zurina Shafi from UC. So they have some plans. I have to give her floor first. We have Dr. Hakima Yaqub from Brunei University, Islam Sultan Sharifah. Are you with us, Doctor? Dr. Hakima? And we have also Dr. Adli Yaqub as co-author. I can see here, I cannot say related names. Okay. Actually, their presentation will be on the legal enables of fintech in regulatory landscape of Brunei Darussalam, issues and challenges. Yeah. Since we don't have any other presenter, we have only two presenters in this session. Now, maybe actually we have my student here, Tuana. Tuana, do you have a question? And we have Wan Rashida, Dr. Wan Rashida, Sister Wan Rashida. You can open your mic if you have any question to Sister Nur Hafiza. Very interesting presentation. We have time, Sister Nur Hafiza. If you don't mind, maybe we ask you more questions.
Yes, thank you so much for your presentation. Actually, everything was so clear. So I can say I couldn't able to find the question. Everything is so clear.
Thank you. No questions from you. Well, then maybe I will ask now questions since we have time. Sister Nur Hafiza, well, can you give just examples of questions you ask when you are measuring the digital financial literacy? Like when it comes to the financial literacy level, we had some studies measuring financial literacy. There is one method called Big Three method, and you basically ask 3 questions which will determine or measure the level of understanding of the person first on the interest rates, especially compounding interest rates, then knowledge about the diversification and portfolio management, like inflation and portfolio management. So these only 3 questions which are enough to come up with the decision on the level of financial literacy. But when it comes to the digital financial literacy, like you mentioned, age is a significant factor, and it makes sense because younger people, especially millennials and Generation Z, they are financial, like digital native people, right? Individual. So what were your questions? I'm curious.
Okay, actually, if you still remember in the slide, on the conceptual framework, I have divided the digital financial literacy into 5 elements. So each element, actually, I have a question, 5 questions for each. So that's mean 25 questions. Okay, if I can give example for the question, for example, for basic knowledge, I ask, have you noticed on the existence of digital financial literacy? So they would say yes. So they will have how much they say yes. The yes answer is the good answer. That means they will get high score. So high score mean they have good in financial literacy. That means the level is good.
It's like awareness. So first question is on awareness. Are you aware that there's such a thing? Okay.
So all the positive question will give positive result to this particular person. So that's one is like basic knowledge. Then in terms of awareness, I ask the question, do you know that digital financial service can help you to do the online transaction? So if they know, then they're aware that digital financial services is the medium that we can use for purchasing or do the transaction. And then when go to the application, I ask them, do you know how to transact by using digital financial platform? So the answer is yes. That means this kind of income group level B40, they know to use the digital financial services. And then I also ask the question, does the digital financial has influenced your purchasing interest? So that means if they use the digital platform, is it make them easy and happy to further use that platform? Is it encourage them? So the answer is yes. So this score is actually help them to determine their digital level for these financial services.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I understood now. So your answers are two times, yes or no?
Two types, yes, yes or no.
Yes. Very interesting. Thank you again.
Okay, thank
I
you.
enjoy your presentation, honestly, because with Dr. Shahida, we worked together. Project which we worked together, and she was presenting, but it was new for me. I really
and
enjoyed
of course, it's because of the much assistance from my supervisor, Dr. Nur Harina Ridwan. Of course, if not, I do not know how to go further. So we have discussed, and she's recommended a lot of things.
Yeah, that's why you have supervisor, and you are in good hands. Thank you very much, Dr. Harina. Very nice topic. Very interesting presentation. Successful student need everything in place. MashaAllah, she knows everything, like statistical side, I'll interpret tables. MashaAllah, very good.
Thank you very much. If you allow me to just to explain a little bit. As the background of the research, we Sister Hafiza has started conducting the research in 2020. That time when the
before hyperinflation. Okay.
Yeah. This COVID happened. Yeah. All through consultation.
That they when you are presenting. Yeah, understood.
So through all the consultation through Zoom, and she managed to conducted this research independently, and really happy with the progress. Because she's coming from the industry background. She's working with the bank. Still working with the bank now, and then managed to conduct research as in excellent way. Also, I would like to congratulate Nur Hafiza for a very good job, and Alhamdulillah, good to see you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We really enjoyed your presentation, and I want to close then if there is no other questions. Thank you very much for attending our session number 9. We will continue our sessions until 6:30. You can join other rooms. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. See you, inshallah, next time in our face-to-face conference here in Turkey, in Konya.
Inshallah. So much, Dr. Kamula. Congratulations.
Terima kasih.
Okay.
Yes.
See you.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.